What's up fam, Scott here. If you guys don't know who I am yet, this is Everything Amazon channel. So we are the 5-day startup. If you guys wanna follow me at @FoundScott on Instagram. Today we're gonna cover what it takes to build a 7-figure business on Amazon. And guys, I'm not gonna show you product research on how to go find a $70,000 product and tell you can go order that and make all that money in a couple weeks and it's super easy. It's not. We've got a whole bunch of steps here. We're focused on private label, so building a real business, a real brand around products that customers actually need. I see a lot of YouTube guys out there or other people kind of throwing these big numbers at you and not explaining what it actually takes. You're creating a business. Don't listen to anyone out there. Amazon is super competitive now. It takes a decent amount of money to get involved. We'll talk about that later. But there's just a lot of steps to do it successfully. It is not a one-hit wonder where you're gonna put up a product and be a millionaire. Building a 7-figure business or even a 6-figure business on Amazon takes time and effort. So I've been doing Amazon sales for about 3 years. I've had some great success. I am not a 7-figure seller yet. That is my goal for this year. I really hope to reach it soon. I have some products coming that will hopefully get me there. But I wanna explain to you guys each step that it takes, and I think as a newer seller, it's super fresh in my mind of what I've done, how I've learned to improve things. Before we get really deep in there and kind of get on the screen sharing, things like that, I just wanna make sure you guys are actually interested in this because there's a lot more than anyone will ever tell you on a quick video on how to find your $60,000 product. Because trust me, I've seen videos out there, find your $100,000 product right away. It's a scam, guys. I'm sorry, it's a scam. They're affiliate marketing, which I will be too. Nothing wrong with affiliate marketing, but I wanna tell you the truth. We're gonna go through all the fees, things like that. So guys, I've broken this up into 14 steps. So there's gonna be a whole bunch of videos, probably a playlist around each step, and there's gonna be an Excel spreadsheet or a checklist that comes with that. A lot of this will be free and some of it will be paid, but I'm gonna make sure guys, we're gonna be like $5, $10 max for anything we're paying for. I wanna give you guys really good value. I just need to get a little bit back for my time. So step 1 is product research. So product research is probably the most important part. If you don't have a high quality product, you will not succeed. I have made the mistake of doing the product research, finding a product that people need, and basically white labeling it, shipping it, and selling it. And let me tell you guys, my numbers were right. I sold out. I did everything right, but the quality just sucked. It wasn't a good product. I didn't fill the needs. I was just white labeling what was out there, and I didn't make sure I was best in class and didn't have a way to be best in class. For example, I'll give you guys one of my failed products, and it wasn't a complete failure. I made a couple $100 off of it, but all the time I put in was not worth it. So they were lawn darts. And basically, if anyone knows about lawn darts, back in the day, lawn darts had sharp tips and they were actually the most deadly toy ever sold to children. Kids died from this. But don't worry guys, I wasn't selling the deadly kind. I sold plastic lawn darts, and basically they were round plastic tips. You could chug them at someone and they didn't hurt. The problem was they bounced. So anytime someone would throw them, they would bounce off the target. And guys, that's just the nature of the product. There is no possible way that I could figure out to stop them from bouncing and still be safe. So that product was a lose-lose product. I got destroyed on reviews because of the bouncing, and therefore I discontinued the product because even though I did sell out and made a couple $100, long-term it wasn't something I could scale and grow. It was just kind of a painful thing. There were a lot of returns. After you calculated PPC and returns and things like that, I was barely breaking even, like I said, just a couple $100. So quality. So step 1, product research. Step 2, profit calculations. So guys, we're gonna do in-depth product calculations. So these are gonna be multiple videos on all of the fees. I put together this crazy calculator that is the most accurate calculator that I know of. Guys, if you've heard of Helium 10, they have a great basic calculator that tells you profitability, but it doesn't add in a lot of factors and it doesn't do long-term like sales volume, things like that I really wanted to see, and that as a business owner, there's the numbers you need. So we're gonna go deep into that. I'm not gonna throw any numbers out at you right now, but that's critical. So you have your product research, and then you're gonna look to see if that product's even profitable. Then your next step is validation. You've done the profitability, so now you're gonna validate the process. So we have a whole bunch of steps that are gonna make sure that you're meeting quality needs, that you're actually making a profit, that you can source it at the right cost. Things like that are covered in the validation step. So basically, if it passes your validation step, that's where you start really digging into the process. So the first 3 steps, as you become more experienced, can be done fairly quickly. I can look at a product, do the profit calculations based off of experience and estimations from Alibaba and other places, and then validate all within a day or two. I don't do thousands of product research at once. I find a product that I'm interested in, I walk it through the process, and then I stop when my checklist tells me not to stop. And guys, I'm gonna stop myself right there. This is not a formula for success. These are questions. Each step in my checklist are questions that drive thought about your product. So one of the biggest questions, and it's all over the place, I ask it multiple times, can you produce this in higher quality and add value to what else is on the market? All right, so that's part of your validation. All right, guys, so your next step is manufacturing. So in the manufacturing process, that's when we're negotiating price. We're making sure we can add in all of the quality that needs to be done. We're getting our samples. We're validating manufacturers. So now, guys, if you're trying to build a business, you want partners. So a lot of people make mistakes with their manufacturers. They don't vet them and they don't build relationships with them. So some of the products that I manufacture, it takes 6 months to a year to make the first run because I'm finding multiple suppliers. I'm getting samples from at least 3 suppliers. That is critical. I always get samples from multiple suppliers because I wanna make sure I'm getting the best product. I don't care too much about cost. I sell luxury products because I private label and I wanna be the best. Guys, that's how you're gonna make money, by being the best. Then you can charge whatever you want. Working with your manufacturers, you're making sure you've got all these arrangements set up, but you're building a relationship. You wanna make sure you don't pressure them too much on price, you're getting the right quality, but you're also getting the right price so you can make money. So we cover all the steps, questions, there's templates on emails to send manufacturers, things like that. So that's how we do that. So your next step is packaging. Guys, packaging might be overlooked by a lot of people. I know the first product I did in stock packaging, and the next one I just did in plastic bags. But first of all, there's certain rules. If the plastic bag is over this size, I don't know the dimensions, it's in the checklist. You have to have suffocation labels on there. You have to have made in whatever country. There's a whole bunch of rules that can stop you from even being allowed to sell on Amazon. So we wanna make sure that you don't have to repackage your products and that you're giving your customers the experience you expect. So some products don't need good packaging. Sometimes a plastic bag is all you need with that suffocation label if it's over a certain size and the correct barcodes. But sometimes you want to spend money on the right packaging. You want the best printing, you want to do the product insert. Product inserts are huge. We talk about different ways to do that, different strategies that can help you get reviews, subscribers. You can use that with warranty, things like that. That is all about packaging. We wanna make sure you do it right. You wanna make sure your cartons are correct. All right, guys, then your next step is keyword research. So I actually do my keyword research in multiple steps. So I do keyword research in validation, and we'll cover that. I wanna make sure there's the correct amount of volume in search for something I'm selling. But then I do in-depth keyword research that takes me 8 to 24 hours to deep dive into where I can sell these products. So these are keywords that need to go in your listing. They might be needed in or on your packaging. They might change a little bit of how you design your product. So I actually do keyword research before I complete my order. And that's probably different than most people do. But the reason why is you're gonna find things in supplements. A very popular keyword is keto. Keto just means basically no sugar, no carbs, whatever that means. But the thing is, if your product is keto and you didn't even think about that and you didn't brand it keto, you don't have keto on your box, you've missed thousands and thousands of searches. So you need to do the research before you go to the next step. All right, guys, so then we have creating your listing. So I know a lot of you are gonna be like, wait a second, I'm creating my listing before I order the product. Yeah, so if this is your first time doing it, I create the listing because Amazon has a whole bunch of rules. So basically you need to make sure you got your UPC code. You need to make sure the category is not restricted. You need to make sure that basically Amazon's gonna let you sell. And so we do all that by creating our listing ahead of time. We make sure it goes up. I wait 2 or 3 days because sometimes Amazon will actually pool listings and say they don't meet terms. When you do that, you don't need all of the information yet. You don't need all of your photos or any of your photos, or you can actually just post a similar photo to make sure that Amazon's not gonna pool everything and say whatever the warning is. I'll let you know that I tried to sell kites at one point in toys, and for whatever reason, Amazon did not wanna let me sell kites in toys. So I actually had to change my UPC and categorize it a little different, and I ended up cutting that product. I just decided it wasn't right for me. Maybe Amazon was right. They do things for a certain reason, and I'm glad I did. I would have lost a lot of money on it, but I created that listing first, and that helped me understand everything that goes into the product. Again, the more you think about this product, the more you're gonna get it right the first time. All right, guys, so your next step is completing the order. We're finally there. We've gone through our validation. We've checked all the keywords. We have the basis of a listing. We're ready to place that order. We've done all the due diligence we can. We've done the deep calculations to make sure we're not going to lose money, and we're ready to go. This part's really exciting. Now, there are certain steps when you complete your order. You want to make sure you get the right documentation. You want to make sure you get inspection. Things like that, we're going to cover in detail why it's so important. If you don't do certain these things, if you wire money over to a supplier that you don't trust and you don't get inspection and you pay 100% up front, good chance you lose all your money, you never see a product, or you get something that you did not order. So we're gonna make sure you do this step correctly, whether that's you're ordering in the United States, whether you're ordering in China, whether you're ordering in India. I've ordered all over the world. I've done hundreds of orders and I've made mistakes, huge mistakes. And we're gonna cover that in detail. And I think making mistakes is the best way to learn, but if you can watch someone else's mistakes and learn from them, that's probably a little bit better. So our next step is shipping. Once your order is done and you're ready to ship it, there's certain things you want to do. You need to know about the brokers. If you're importing, you need to know about brokers. You need to know how to get your best rate. You need freight quotes, and we're gonna hook you guys up with one of our partners. They're awesome. I'm not sure if I get an affiliate link or not. I don't have one right now, but I still love them, so I'm gonna recommend them over anyone else. I've done about 30 purchases with them. They've shipped worldwide for me, no issues. And I'm gonna tell you some tricks how to get it even better, but we make sure we get inspection. They deliver directly to Amazon. They'll label it for you. They'll do value added if you need. So it's an awesome service. If you're in the United States, no matter what, you wanna make sure you have a DHL account, a UPS account, and a FedEx account, and you can get quotes on your different orders to make sure you're getting the best price. And each company has a little bit different process, so sometimes you want to pay a little bit more to get it there faster, or better tracking, or you're shipping from the United States to Canada, or things like that, and you can set all that up, and we're gonna help you do that. I use DHL a lot. They're my favorite for shipping, for exporting. They get it there quick. Not the cheapest, but a lot of times it's just the easiest way to go. All right, so we got shipping. We're gonna ship directly from your manufacturer, especially if you're going international, from your manufacturer to your warehouse. And we're gonna be able to do this because we've set up inspection, we've done different things, so you confidently know that the product you ordered is coming in. Okay, so our next step is email follow-up. So we're gonna assume that your listing was set up ahead of time and the product's now on the way. So email follow-up is one of the best ways to get reviews. Amazon is changing the way they do that. There are a lot of terms and regulations around it, even the wording of, to jump back to the wording of your insert card, the wording of your emails can get you banned from Amazon. And so we're gonna try to do everything in our power to make sure you stay in terms, which are continuously changing, and I recommend reading them and getting alerts turned on for all of them. But the follow-up emails, now with the new terms, we do 2 follow-up emails. We do one, hey, your product is shipped and should be delivered on this date, and then we do one 10 days later, 5 days later, 4 days later. You can play with this. I've done all over the board. It doesn't seem to make a huge difference. With a thank you for purchase, I always try to do value add on my emails. So I explain a little bit of how to use them. If there's an extended warranty, I'll put some details in there. Obviously, asking for feedback and a review is huge. Reviews are a major currency on Amazon. We're gonna cover that in depth. There's a lot of what people call black hatting going around on reviews. We're gonna try to tell you how to avoid that, to stay safe, to do it correctly. If you pick the right product, you probably don't need it. And we're gonna go into tactics that people are doing, what you should try, what you shouldn't try. And again, we're gonna try to make sure that you stay in terms and understand exactly what risk you're taking if you guys decide to black hat. Okay, and then our next step is your product launch. So product launches, I always start setting mine up beforehand. So you need a list of people that are gonna buy your product to make sure you rank on the first page. It is critical that your product ends up on the first page of whatever keyword you're launching for. So there are so much details that go into a product launch and so many different ways to do that. And there are so many services out there that can help you out to get the best product launch. I personally don't use services. I've been doing this for a couple years. I've been able to grow my social media and things like that. And I partner with the right people that are able to help get that product launched. And I only launch products in niches that I can compete with. I do have a huge product launch coming up. It's the biggest I've ever done, an extremely competitive niche. And I'm still not using launch services. I will be using programs to help me get subscribers, drive sales, make sure I do the right research. Facebook groups are huge. I'm gonna do a lot of videos on product launches. There's hundreds of ways to do product launches, and some products you don't even need to launch, they launch themselves. Those are the best ones, but they're the hardest to find. So that's kind of what I have to say about product launches. Again, we're gonna go into depth on all of these. So what's after product launch? You're thinking, you're done, you've made your money, things are selling, you're doing good. There's still more to go. So now PPC. PPC is part of your product launch, but it's also part of maintaining your product longevity. So you wanna make sure that you're selling through advertisements on Amazon. Amazon PPC more than tripled my sales this year, and I'm doing a pretty good conversion rate. So doing great with Amazon PPC. There are a lot of tricks. There's some software that works with that. I know Helium 10 doesn't currently do PPC, but I'm really hoping they're coming out with it soon. I hope they watch this and get it. I believe they are. I've gotten some emails about it, so stay tuned for that. But guys, you have to be running PPC during your launch and after, or you're just leaving money on the table. A good PPC campaign can be, cost of the product could be anywhere from 5 to even 50% depending on your margins. Sometimes when you're launching, you're gonna do PPC at 100% cost and you're gonna sell everything at a loss, but that's gonna help with throughput and ranking, and there's a whole bunch of strategies there. So I'm not gonna get into too much more detail. But what's next? And you guys are like, well, wait a second, we should be done. There's so many steps. We're not done yet, guys. There's more. All right, so next is inventory management. You have a successful launch, successful products, great reviews, you're moving. You don't wanna run out of stock. If you run out of stock, you drop in the rankings, you lose that front page ranking, and it takes time to get back. Usually if you're doing really well, it's gonna go back pretty quickly, but it's gonna cost you some money. So every time you run out of stock, it's actually costing you money, besides for the fact that you're not selling, but you're also gonna have to do a mini relaunch, and the longer you're out of stock, the bigger that relaunch has to be. Inventory management is huge. Getting it right on time, making sure you're using your cash properly so you can not have too much inventory. When I first started, I bought inventory for a year, 2 years at a time, because I just thought, oh, it's the cheapest rate, whatever. I didn't understand the value of my money, whether it's new products, marketing, or going to the beach. So you wanna make sure that you're properly utilizing your cash always. Just because you get the best rate on the product doesn't mean it's long-term gonna be best for you. So we're gonna explain that. That's actually explained a lot in Profit Calculations. More on that, guys. Again, make sure to subscribe. You're gonna get all these great videos. They're all free. I'm gonna give you some links. Hopefully you guys sign up for the software. I don't recommend anything I've never used before. And guys, we're almost done. So we're not done yet. The next and last Amazon step is brand defense. So there are a lot of cutthroat people on Amazon. Unfortunately, we talked about black hatters. So there's different levels of black hatters, but people can literally take over your listing and start selling fake products, basically empty boxes. There's a whole bunch of ways people can ruin your business overnight. And if you haven't properly defended yourself, you're very susceptible to this happening. And there's really nothing you can do if you're not prepared and you don't know the correct language. And guys, if you contact Amazon and say the wrong thing, they will take down not only your competitor's listing, but they'll take down your listing. So you could have a #1 seller, you could be doing 6 figures on one product and send the wrong email to Amazon, and they won't completely understand what you meant, and they will wipe it, and it's gone. You'd have to relaunch the product. They might even let you resell the product. It's a mess. It's never happened to me, but I've heard of it happening, and I've worked with experts. I have tools and tricks. We're gonna make sure you say the right things and get things done properly. So guys, that covers Amazon. All right guys, so for you guys that are new to business, there's a certain things that we're gonna cover: LLCs, entities, taxes, business banking, trademarks, patents, things like that that are thrown on all the time that you may know you might need, might not need. So trigger the trade, most of that you don't need right away. If you're gonna spend a lot of money on inventory, you're gonna wanna do some of it just to protect yourself and to reduce liability. But if you're doing retail arbitrage or something like that, you don't need any of this right away. You just wait till you're making, I believe the threshold, and you'll have to Google this, don't trust me. On this one, I think it's about $10,000 a year is where it's very recommended or required to have some of these things. I did it right away for myself, but you guys don't need to. Okay, so I know this was a longer video, but I wanted you guys to really understand what goes into being an Amazon seller or private label to starting your business. And I didn't want you guys to be fooled by these product research videos where they say they're gonna make you $40,000 a month with no work and all you have to do is press a couple buttons. That doesn't exist. And maybe 5 years ago that did exist, but even 3 years ago when I started, that wasn't really the trick. You had to spend a certain amount of money, you had to add value. And so each one of these steps are critical to success. If you're not doing them, you're not maximizing your business. And there's a lot of ways to make simple mistakes that we're gonna cover. We're gonna give you some free checklists, we're gonna give you some software recommendations, and like I said, some of it will cost a little bit, but again, I'm not gonna charge more than $5, $10 for anything I give out. And all my videos on YouTube are obviously free. I got you guys covered with the most important information. I really appreciate everyone tuning in. We're gonna cover so much great information through this YouTube channel. I would really love it if you could subscribe, and feel free to contact me. You can go directly to @FallonScott. I respond to all of my DMs personally. If you guys leave a comment, I'll also respond down there. Really appreciate it. Until next time, love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks so much for watching my video, guys. Really appreciate it. Please make sure to subscribe. Should be right down there or there. Watch my next video and my playlist right there for me and Moses. Thanks so much. Have a great day.